Let us look at some of the implications of the Honorable Supreme Court judgment on moratorium on loan repayment that was granted during the pandemic period by the central bank. The judgment has been very positive as far as the banking system is concerned. But let us try to look at some of the aspects of how it is going to impact the banking system way forward, and how normalcy in due course can be restored in the banking operations. Now, as far as the highlights of the judgments are concerned, I think all of us know very well that no extension of moratorium period will be granted, and no waiver of interest on loans during the moratorium period is possible because it is not commercially viable, and the depositors have to be paid the interest, and hence no waiver as far as interest is concerned on the loans. The third point is standstill clause, which on the classification of non-performing assets in banks have also been lifted. So now banks and NBFCs can classify loans according to the prudential standards into whatever classification the loan falls. Like if there is an overdues for more than 90 days, the account will be classified as non-performing loan. Now, one relief has been given, that compound interest on all kinds of loans are to be waived for the period of moratorium, that is 6 months period. Actually, the compound interest on loans up to rupees 2 crores was already refunded to the borrowers in the month of November. Now, the loans which are beyond 2 crores, the compound interest is to be refunded back to the borrowers. So, that is what is the highlights of the judgment is concerned. Now, let's see as to what will be the impact of this. Now, as far as the compound interest is concerned, about rupees 6,000 crores was the amount of interest refunded on loans up to rupees 2 crores. Now, it is estimated that the compound interest impact on banks for loans beyond rupees 2 crores will be around 7,000 to 7,500 crores. Now, as far as the interest up to rupees 2 crores is concerned, that compound interest portion has been borne by the government. Now, it is not very clear whether on the loans beyond rupees 2 crores, which comes to around 7,000 to 7,500 crores, the load will be borne by the banks or by the government is not yet clear, but the banks will have to refund back to the borrowers that kind of compound interest. Now, next point is the loans which are overdue as far as the interest and loan repayment dues are concerned. Such loans will be classified as per the prudential standards. It is expected to add about 130,000 crores to the stock of existing non-performing assets of the banking system. Now, as per the ICRA, one of the rating agency, the gross non-performing assets of banks are estimated at 8.3% in December 2020. Now, if we can connect it to the estimates given by the Reserve Bank of India in its financial stability report, the gross non-performing assets were at 7.5% in September. So, September 7.5%, now the estimate is in December 8.3%. That is before the impact of the new classification is taken into account. Now, when we take into account the new classification that will happen now because of the lifting of the standstill clause on the classification of the loans on the banking system, will be working out to about 1.3 trillion. That is about the burden will be increased by about 1.3% of the gross non-performing loans. That will take the non-performing loans to about 9.6% or little more than that, 9 point. So maybe if the overdues are more, because this is only an estimate that we are making at this point of time, when the actual classification happens, then maybe that we may enter into a double digit as far as non-performing assets of the banking system are concerned. So it was very well known quite earlier that the impact of the pandemic will be soaring the NPA levels in the banking system. So the Reserve Bank of India, though no loan was classified as NPA, but pro forma classification and calculations were already done by the banking system to see where we stand when this standstill clause is lifted. So one thing is very clear, the compound interest of about 7,500 crores is to be refunded back to the borrowers is number one. Number two, the NPA levels will go up by about 1.3 trillion as a result of new classification of the loans. And now how to recoup from this high level of NPAs? There are certain, of course, the recovery efforts will have to be continued, will have to be accelerated by the banks to ensure that the normal recovery happens. And now that the economy is now coming back to the functioning state, I think some of the loans will get paid in due course of time. But apart from that, the banks can restructure the MSME loans of up to rupees 25 crores as per the RBI scheme that ended on 31st of March 2021. Many banks would have already restructured the loans. To that extent, the NPAs will come down because more time, more room is allowed to these borrowers so that they can resume their activities, and some gestation period is also given for the loan repayment in the new restructured terms and conditions. Now if we can recall the Kamath Committee panel which has been set up by the Reserve Bank of India, it has recommended that 26 stressed sectors, banks can restructure the loans on the basis of 5 parameters that have been set by the committee. Now this window of restructuring of loans other than MSME loans of up to rupees 25 crores, which are other loans, will be eligible for restructuring as per the Kamath Committee panel, and it can be done up to June 2021, that is 30th June 2021. So we have still some more time to go, but in the meantime the classification of the loans have to be done. Now if the RBI is able to give some time to the banks, keeping in view the high NPA levels, that is a different issue, or otherwise the in the interim period the NPA levels will go up. Now as a result of new classification of loans as NPAs, the capital adequacy ratio of the banks may come down because the risk weighted assets will go up, and it will affect the capital adequacy ratio. Now when the capital adequacy ratio dips down, then maybe that it will restrict the new loans that are to be granted by the banking industry to ensure that the borrowers are able to start the operations and they are in a better position to recoup from the shocks of the pandemic that is still going on. So capital adequacy ratio coming down is one of the impact which the banks will have to tackle. Of course, the government has already infused about 20,000 crores as per the budgetary provisions, and that capital is now being given in the form of a zero coupon bonds. So that is a new format adopted by the government to fund the public sector banks. So whatever may be the route of infusing capital into the bank, but the capital adequacy ratio is to increase in these banks. As and when the scheme of bad bank, which has been mooted in the union budget in the form of setting up a special purpose vehicle, that is asset reconstruction company exclusively to take over the bad loans of the banks, as and when it gets operationalized and banks are in a position to shift some of their bad loans to this entity, I think they will be getting some relief from both the volume of NPAs and also the capital adequacy ratio. So sum and substance, when we look at these aspects, we can say that if the banks are able to take advantage of the restructuring schemes which has been opened up by the Reserve Bank of India, and as and when they are in a better position to scale down their NPA levels, I think it will be good for the banks, and not much impact of the new classification will be on the banks, but only thing is they need to take full advantage of the restructuring window and persuasive methods to recover the loans. And apart from that, banks on their own can also restructure the loans and give some time to the borrowers to come back to their normal operations. But the only thing is the asset classification will be as per the performance of the loans, and they may have to classify it as NPA temporarily for some period, but as and when it becomes operational and the revenue generation starts, then the banks can again upgrade the loan as a standard loan. So there are certain windows which are available to the banks to tackle the non-performing assets of the banking system. So on the whole, post-pandemic, banks will have to get attuned to operate in a little higher NPAs for some time, at least for next 2 years to come. And now the insolvency and bankruptcy code can also be invoked. It has been opened up on March 24th after keeping it in abeyance for about a year. It was not operationalized, and now banks can invoke Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 and can go to National Company Law Tribunals for enforcing recovery from the delinquent borrowers. So looking at all these, I think the banks can be very soon be in a better position if all these options are fully utilized by the banks. So that's what is the take as far as the analysis of post the judgment is concerned. So thank you very much for being with me, and post your comments on the comment section. Subscribe. Thank you so much.